Welcome to The Conversation with Pat Harvey. In this series, I'll dive into various topics and issues with my guests in a more intimate and unfiltered setting. And my guest today has a big voice that she uses to lead a big band. And she has sung all alongside some of the biggest Hollywood names. I'm joined today by Simone of the Simone Hollywood Orchestra. Robin, thank you so much for being with me.
Thank you, Pat, for having me. You're wonderful. Thank
well, you are beyond wonderful. I just wanted people to know and to meet you like I have, and have learned so much about you in just our first little get-together. You've had a lifelong devotion to big band music, which you say was sparked through your mother at a young age. So tell us more about that.
Yes, well, my mom has a beautiful voice, and I wanted to emulate her voice, so I started singing when she would be singing. And she introduced me to the most amazing music and films. And I used to watch these amazing artists up on the silver screen, and I wanted to emulate them as well, and I went into music.
You know, I think that's wonderful because you don't find many people, a lot, but again, when it comes to this genre, they say, well, I listened to my mother, and that's what really, got me interested. What kind of artists did you listen to when you were growing up?
That's a great question. I listened to everything from Ella Fitzgerald.
The greats.
Oh, yes, all the most amazing artists, Sarah Vaughan.
Wow.
And I had an eclectic taste, the Beatles.
All right.
I listened to
that was
everything.
my next. I was going
like
to
classic.
Okay.
Classic,
but still.
because my mom was into that and my dad was into it. My dad, a little bit more eclectic taste too. I listened to Nina Simone, and
I love Nina Simone.
Nina Simone, and then also like Luther and Prince and Michael Whitney.
See, okay, you had
Beyonce, everybody.
I love that. So your music tastes really run the gamut.
Oh yeah.
Of what you listen to, what you enjoy.
Absolutely. We have to learn. You know, we stand on the shoulders of so many incredible artists. So it's fun to listen to what they do and try to incorporate that into what what I do.
Oh, I think that's beautiful. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Chicago.
Oh, in Chicago.
Yeah, and then moved to the suburbs. But I feel like I grew up at the Art Institute because my dad had me there all the time. I was always downtown Chicago, always. He would really fill me up with art and theater and lots of film. Goodman Theater.
Yes.
It brings, Steppenwolf.
Yes,
My mom would take me to the Music Box Theater, which is still around today. So, yeah, I really grew up with a lot of art and art in my life, a lot of music.
Now, did you play instruments?
A little bit of my mom wanted me to play violin, so I played a little violin, but I gravitated more towards piano and guitar, and so I excelled in that.
Oh, that's really that's your DNA. There's no question about that.
Absolutely.
From both your parents, really.
Yes, it's funny you say DNA because I feel like film and music, and that's all in my DNA.
You know, you've talked about the music and how you were inspired by your parents, by listening, and this has carried you through today. I'm just curious, did you have other ambitions or other hobbies that you enjoy doing, or were you just really focused on the music?
You know, that's a good question. I was focused on writing, and singing, but more so the writing because I majored in journalism. So
there it is.
So yeah, but more like screenplays and things like that, and writing songs.
I was going to say, isn't that one of the first things you do? I think I studied journalism too, even in high school, but I did production first, and part of the production was you had to write a screenplay, which I enjoyed as well.
Yeah.
So when did that turn, or when did it happen for you where you said, okay, I like this music piece, I think I'm going to stick with it?
You know, I was dissuaded from doing music a little bit because I think, parents think, oh, it's the arts and it's sort of crazy and all that. But I loved it so much. It was part of my DNA, like you said. It was part of my heart. So I felt like I can write and I can do this, and we can try many different things, you know.
Well, fortunate, lucky for us, you stay with the music, because
stay with the music.
really enjoy you doing that.
Thank
now,
you.
throughout your career, you have worked with some of the biggest names in Hollywood and music. I think I mentioned that before. Prince, you worked with
Yes.
Prince.
Actually, I did demo work for him.
Wow.
And demo work for him and your girl Debbie Allen. When I moved to LA, she did
Yes.
a showcase for a play she was putting on, and I was one of the leads in that showcase. And oh my gosh,
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx, Taraji P. Henson, Sofia Vergara.
Burt Bacharach.
Yes, I sent him some. I mean, yes, it's pretty
just
pretty big.
The names that you mentioned,
yeah,
that just shows the, you know, the spike or the arc of what you do. When you mention the singers that you enjoy or the music that you enjoy, to think about the names that I just mentioned, that's a big, you know, that's a eclectic group there in itself.
Oh yeah, definitely, very eclectic group. And I've worked with, let's see, my producer on the album, Bill Appleberry, who does music for The Road and for The Voice, and it was really interesting working with all these really wonderful artists. They bring so much to the table, and they help you out when you're in your recording sessions and things like that. Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, Robin. So let's talk about when I first met you, and I learned what you do. You actually are a female band leader.
Yes.
With 17 band members.
Oh yeah.
Now that's not common.
No.
Okay.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
So you are really one of a kind, and you are the name and the force behind the Robin Simone Orchestra. Mm-hmm. But tell me, how did this happen, and did you envision that as a young girl, that you were going to have your own band and lead it?
I envisioned just singing, and I didn't think about that. I think I really at one point just really gravitated towards more jazz and big band music, because I just love that big, bold, beautiful sound. And I decided, you know what, I really want to focus in on this and do something interesting. Unfortunately, I started it right before COVID. So, and
the group, you started your band before that?
I had my own band in Chicago, but I started the big band right before COVID. And that was interesting because I had to figure out places to rehearse because I wanted to keep everybody safe. I put this all together, 17 super musicians, a conductor, arranger, and myself. And so the most important thing for me is not only to keep people safe, but also to create this nice family atmosphere and a collaborative spirit. And,
now, did you do that in one space, or did you do it on Zoom like most everybody did?
Well, you know what we had to do? We had to be outside. So our trombone player, Mark, suggested a place in Malibu called Rosenthal Wineries.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Know the winery.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I ended up doing all of our rehearsals at Rosenthal once a week.
Because it was outside.
Because it was outside and it was safe. And what a beautiful setting.
Yes, I was going to say that. If you're going to be outside, that's a nice place to be.
It was a nice place to be.
I thought you were going to say somebody's parking lot, but oh no.
No. Yeah, and you know, I was thinking about like some pods or something at one point because I was like, we have to be. So so we did it out there, and we worked towards recording this album. And that meant a lot to me. That really did. It meant a lot to me because I really wanted to bring some joy back, especially during that time.
Yes.
That meant a lot.
And we still need that joy.
We need that joy.
Can I just say, on this beautiful album cover, you remind me of Lady Sings the Blues.
Ah.
Did I say that
Diana
for a
Ross.
reason? Is that, yeah, were you channeling?
Absolutely. Absolutely channeling Diana. How can't you? I
Yeah.
mean, what an amazing voice.
No question. And that was such a beautiful, that album that she did herself.
That movie, her
Amazing.
acting. I mean,
She should have won.
she should have won an Oscar
I think
for
I
that.
can say that.
Absolutely. I mean, on another level. And those songs. And Billie Holiday was such an interesting singer who went through such a tumultuous
Yes.
life. And but she put all of her feelings into her music. She incorporated in that, and that meant so much to the music.
You could feel her pain, right?
Yeah.
And when she sang, and then once you saw the movie, then or read about her life, then you knew what she went through.
Yeah.
As an addict. But that all came out to me in her performance, and she was flawless when she performed.
She was.
How about that? So that probably is one of the things, or maybe the only thing really that brought her some joy, was the music.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something funny. I was performing at Vibrato, and guess who walked in the door? Billy D. Williams. Which is so funny. I had on the white dress and the whole thing. And I was singing songs from Lady Sings the Blues.
Oh, that must have touched him.
I sang The Man I Love.
Oh.
And he was sitting there with his crew, and I thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe Billy D. Williams is over there. And it was just so apropos because
He's a major part.
Yeah,
of
and I sort of think that
production.
energy sort of, fuels other things around you, things that you can't
see really.
Can't really see, yeah.
Well, that's from that, but I want to go back to the band. Did you pick the 17 members?
Yes, myself and Charlie Harrison, my wonderful conductor arranger, we handpicked everybody, and it's interesting about big bands. You want to make sure there's a nice rapport with everybody because there's a lot of people there, and as I mentioned, it's a collaborative effort, so you want to make sure everyone gets along. So yeah, we handpicked everybody, and they were really down to do it because that's not something you see very often.
Right.
And it's so exciting. The music is so big and lush, and they like making the noise.
You know what I love? What you haven't said, it's not a problem. It doesn't sound like it's a problem. Generally, when you have the first, doing anything, especially being a woman, it's like, yeah, well, I had to get them to trust me or to really believe that I knew what I was doing and that I could really put this together. Did that ever happen?
Well, it's funny you say that. When I first started out years ago in Chicago, I had my name on the bandstands. And there were people that would come over and say, whose band is this? And it was very clear.
They didn't think it was yours.
No, they didn't. And so we have to create some sort of more of a visibility where more women, are looked upon in leadership positions because you just don't see it that often.
No, you don't.
And one thing is you have to lead with strength and conviction and, have some empathy. Some people think you have to be harsh, but no, I think you have to be empathetic and understand there's gender bias challenges too, like I mentioned.
But they must listen to you.
Oh, they do.
You.
They trust me.
And you listen to them.
Yes.
Obviously. Yes,
and Charlie, my arranger conductor, he really talks to a lot of the musicians, and I talk about more feel, and he talks more about the technical things too, because I think the feel is important because that resonates, and that energy is palpable, and you want to feel that,
Well, congratulations. I'm glad that's happened.
Thank you.
And sincerely, I mean, I've seen some of your videos, so that I know.
You have?
Oh, yes.
Which videos did you see? There's 3.
That it exists. I think I saw all 3 when I was trying, when I knew I was going to talk to you. But I can see the respect, but that's a video production.
Yeah.
But you seem to be so natural.
Aw, thank you.
And real. And so do the guys, and that's obviously important, and that's why I asked you that question, because of what you do is so unusual, in my view, to be a band leader.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of us, and especially in the beginning of jazz, we were just, relegated to being singers, which is fine, it's wonderful, but we didn't have that ownership stake, and that's why we have to create that visibility and see more.
Now, what made you want to have that ownership stake?
I think because I wanted to create my own path, and I think it's important to also not answer to anybody else. I wanted to tell them this is what I want to sing. I had so many years where I worked with other band leaders that told me what to do, and that was and it's not so much telling someone what to do, but you also want to just let them know, this is this is important to me, this is my vision, and it's collaborative, so I'll bring in some of yours as well, but it's my deal.
So you wanted ownership.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. I think that's important.
Now, what inspires you to choose the songs that you want to perform?
Well, we talked early on about my mom. She had such a glorious voice, and she introduced me to music and film. And our orchestra really focuses in on the songs from wonderful films. And what I really wanted to do is I wanted to feel inspired by film and also by certain artists. Ella Fitzgerald was a big inspiration for me.
A tisk and a task, huh?
Oh, yeah. Are you going to sing?
I was going to ask you to sing.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to ask you to sing in just a minute.
Yeah, she had such a lilting, gorgeous voice and incredible scatting ability.
Ooh, yes.
And no one else, could even touch her. And Whitney, what a strength, just a beauty. And, you think about some of these artists that are not with us anymore, but they just, they were touched by God, their voices, their personalities, and they stay with us forever. And so that's a big inspiration for me. And wonderful Hollywood musicals. Like I would watch, Singing in the Rain and all of these things my mom told me about when I was younger.
Gene Kelly?
Yeah, those are great.
Yes.
Those are great. Innocent.
Stand the test of time.
Stand the test of time. And, there's innuendo without being direct and obscene.
Right.
In a lot of that music.
Right.
And there's a classic feel to it and an elegance, which we really try to do with our orchestra. We're all dressed to the nines.
Yes,
I'm in a long dress.
Yes.
And so it's a beautiful night out, Pat. We can get you away from here.
You in person. How about that?
Yes.
A night off 1 week from work, and I can go see Robin. I should have used that as part of my research. I needed to hear you live. But typical work week for you. What is that? How many hours?
Working, oh wow, if I'm working on a show, it's every single day, hours and hours and hours, every day. Working on the material, we have the charts, the arrangements done. So then it's just segues in between, what I'm gonna say, like where everything's gonna be placed. And we have a rehearsal for about 3 hours, a few days beforehand. And we go through everything. And then I want to always mix it up, so I work on different music with the rhythm section, which is about 4 pieces within the orchestra. So it's not just booming the entire time, but I work on things with them that are a little different every show.
Yeah, that's so smart.
Yeah, we try to mix it up.
Yeah, but the fact that you want to do that and you know how to do it, I'm just fascinated. I love it.
And we also create, more of a modern take of this music. So it's not just, what you've heard before, but we have mashups. And I changed the lyrics on some of the songs, and I had to get serious licensing for that.
I was gonna say permission.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
But I wanted to modernize it and just, make it a little more accessible so people would enjoy.
Well, that's smart also. And that's my next question too. Do you see a revival of that kind of music? We've been talking about the classics.
Yeah, I do. I think, and especially because Broadway's doing so much, and a lot of revivals, they do a ton of revivals. And so I think because I gravitate towards a lot of that, I'm sort of seeing that in Broadway, I'm seeing that in film. Well, because every once in a while there's some musicals that are produced, like you have Dreamgirls in Chicago and all those, and Hamilton, and so I think there is a revival. I think so.
Well, that's good, and you're part of that.
I believe that, yeah.
I mean, if people come to see your show and you said, I mix up some things, I may add this or that to a classic, sometimes that's what brings people in, and it really introduces them to the kind of music that you enjoy listening to.
Absolutely.
I think that's terrific.
Yeah.
Really. Anything, you mentioned some, like Dreamgirls, but I would say, are there recent productions that really caught your eye, that really enjoy? You gonna say Wicked?
Wicked. Wicked's a great one. Did you see Wicked?
Oh, yes.
That's a wonderful
Wicked
one.
1, Wicked 2.
Those are beautiful.
Grandchildren, of course.
Oh, the kids love it.
Yes.
And it's breaking down racial barriers too.
Absolutely.
And it's an interesting way they did it.
Well, no, did you ever run up against that? You just brought up racial barriers.
You know, yes, and gender bias. Being a woman in this business, like I mentioned, you know, people not even realizing it was my band. I had a band leader in the very beginning who I looked up to as a mentor, and she had to change the name to her husband's band for her to procure work.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, they wouldn't even hire her. It's same band, same everything. But
Because she was a woman.
Because she was a woman. And also when coming here, I had some challenges when I, you know, just being a woman of color. I sing everything. We're not a monolithic people. We can do it all. And when I was with another group at one point, when I first got to LA, I started singing. I could sing rock, I could sing jazz, I could sing gospel, I sang country, I sang pop. I did everything. And they wanted to sort of put me in a box. And I thought that was interesting because they wanted, you know, certain people to sing certain things. So yeah, and I had to fight against that because, you know, I do it all. And I think there's nothing wrong with showing some versatility and, you know, and
not being put in a box.
And not being put in the box.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for, let's say, a young person listening to you today? I mean, you talked about some adversity, which is just about anything you do that's going to be successful, right? What would you say to them?
Well, a few things. One, you want to do what you love. So I think that's really important. Because when you love it, you're going to put all your time and effort into it. And, you know, you're passionate about it. So I think that's really important. The other thing is, if money was not in the equation, would you be doing this? So I think it's important. You want to make a business and you want to earn, you know, a good living. However, that's when you really know that your heart is in it, that you do it no matter what.
That's good advice. What's next for you?
Well, been performing around Los Angeles, so I'll be performing again at Simone Theater and at Vibrato Jazz Bel Air.
That's beautiful. Love that supper club.
Yeah, yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful club.
You talked about people that you really admired and who inspired you, and we're looking at the album here. So, Lady Sings the Blues, Billie Holiday. Can you just drop a few notes from a favorite song from her?
Well, Diana Ross singing The Man I Love.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, yes, from Lady Sings the Blues.
Okay.
Someday he'll come along, the man I love, and he'll be big and strong, the man I love. Beautiful voice.
That was a gorgeous, rendition. Do you have something even, you said you like to see people smile.
Oh, yes.
We need more joy.
We need a little, big time.
Can you give me some joy?
I'll give you a lot of joy, Pat.
Okay.
Smile though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds, and we've got clouds in the sky.
Especially today.
You'll get by if you smile through your fear and sorrow. Smile, and maybe tomorrow you'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile.
How about that? That's just a sample of what you would hear if you go to see Robin Simone at Vibrato, or she's also going to be at the Simone Theater.
Yes.
So we're going to give you more information about where you can go to hear more of her beautiful, beautiful voice and watch her with her band members. So thank you so much, Robin, for being
Pat.
with me today.
What a joy you are. Thank
You are a joy.
Thank you.